Greetings to everyone. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening. It's such a pleasure to have this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on wherever you are world over. We hope you are taking care of your health, your wellness, your family members, your community, your society, your civilization, and whosoever is directly or indirectly in touch with you. Please take care of everybody. That's the way we have to look at this world as a global family. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, like every Sunday, we have got Indian diaspora, we have got non-resident Indian for Indian education empowerment, and today we have got a very distinguished guest, Professor Rajashekhar Wangapati ji. He is the registrar, Fashion Institute of Technology, State University of New York in United States. We will also be joined by Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan, Professor of Marketing, Lamar University at Texas, United States. And wonderful topic is there, relevant topic is there, to the point topic is there. Teaching through technology and teacher empowerment is very, very important to all of us. Today is 998th webinar. And after this, I have got one more webinar tonight at 9:30, which is on micro, small, and medium enterprise. And then, of course, we will roll into next day because tomorrow is International Day of Yoga, and our chamber would be completing 1,000 webinar series on making education relevant with the valuable support of all of you globally, wherever you are world over. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me share a few of the slides with you before I invite our distinguished speaker. The journey goes back to 1994, where from the interface started with our Indian diaspora and our brothers and sisters across the world in most of the countries wherever they have gone. And that moved on for 10 years. We kept on having a lot of interactions, collaborations, and every year celebrations in month of January coinciding with 13th of January, Lohri festival in India. And then in 2003, the then Honorable Prime Minister of India got the vision, and there was a Bharatiya Parvasi Divas which started in India. So it's a long journey. It's a wonderful journey, very scintillating journey. Since 1994, we have come a long way. So tomorrow, International Day of Yoga, we are going to have youth wellness with education, skills, empathy, and empowerment. And the team would be joining us from all the way Paris and the UNESCO headquarters. So the director and the UNESCO representative to India, he'll inaugurate the program at Indian Standard Time, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, when it will be early morning in Paris. And we are going to have 6 hours long deliberations and celebrations. And then we will have a valedictory function from 8 to 9 p.m. We would like to recognize all the dignitaries who helped us coming all the way to 1,000 webinars, completing tomorrow in this particular series. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during pandemic, we all understand our thought process, they got affected, business got affected, physical and mental health got affected. And the main part of the universities, education got deeply affected because that we got to consider. But India always believes it's a Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. And new education policy was announced in the middle of thick of the pandemic. That's on 29th of July last year, 2020. And Honorable Prime Minister of India gave the clearance, and Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, the Honorable Education Minister of India, he shared with all of us. And this new education policy is a game changer for all of us. Right from the 6th class, the coding will be coming. Technology is going to play a very important role. There is nothing like you call it curricular, extracurricular, co-curricular. No, everything is the integral part of the education ecosystem. And there's a great emphasis on learning. Particularly, it's not on teaching, it's on learning. And in learning also, there is an accountability, what exactly children have learned, what have they picked up, what have they got, how are they feeling, and how the things are, all that to be taken into consideration. Teacher empowerment is something very important, which has been deeply emphasized in this new education policy. because we got to do the hand holding of the teacher, irrespective how many years they have been teaching, they have been the part of this education ecosystem. But time is changing so fast, we all got to adapt. And technology adaptations, it's very essential, it's very important for all of us. We got to be flexible, we got to be adaptable, and it's going to be a lifelong learning. That's what we have to take on. But the question is, are we prepared? Do we have the adequate infrastructure? Are we giving education, right education, desired education, need-based education, vocational-based education, outcome-based education, and entrepreneurship-based education, employability-based education, leading to what is the purpose of education? That ultimately has to be taken. And also, when you provide seamless connectivity, the last person sitting in Nagaland or in Manipur or in Arunachal Pradesh or in Tripura, wherever they are, everybody should get an access, and it should not be a privilege for few. Rather, we should walk to the last mile. That is the question which we have to take. Youth empowerment is very important. Teachers empowerment is very important. And the key reforms for education sector, when we talk about in the budget, 1st of February, the Honorable Finance Minister of India, she gave the new budget. And in that budget, if we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, something very interesting, 9.5% rise increase in the education sector budget in India. Education sector getting priority, and thereby you can well imagine, if the thick of pandemic on 29th of July 2020, when everybody was struggling and everybody was crawling and moving ahead during the pandemic, and there was a new education policy, and that new education policy being, something like a game changer for all of us, which we got to consider. And some new parameters which we got with the new education policy: 100 new scenic schools coming up in India, 750 for the tribal youth Eklavya model residential schools to come up, focus on tribal youth. In the Leh Ladakh area, Central University coming from the Government of India, and realignment of the existing national apprenticeship training programs and other kind of partnerships, whatever has to be done. And when we take one particular city, all the institutions which are existing over there, irrespective whether government or private, colleges, universities, research institution, they got to collaborate, and they got to be a confluence of all of them together towards a common cause. And finally, skills initiative under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, where the MOUs being signed with the various countries, particularly when you talk about Japan, where 3 lakh youth got to go from India, United Arab Emirates, and a couple of other countries. So optimum utilization of technology and the social media. Our distinguished guest will be talking about it. We strongly believe from our chamber, there got to be a holistic education. And holistic education means the golden triangle is not Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. It is education, skills, and entrepreneurship. Because we know we are not going to have much of employment, but more of entrepreneurship, startup, and self-employment. And why education is not relevant to our day-to-day life? Why don't we cover those areas which are relevant to my living, my life, my day-to-day life, right from the morning when I get up until I go to sleep, whatever I perform and I do? I think education should cover all those areas. We are having about 12 hours beaming every day. We started this morning at 9:30 from Los Angeles, from Professor Satinder Dhiman. Thereafter, we had gone to Bollywood, we have gone to Tollywood, we have gone to Pollywood, and we were on to cinematic tourism. 3 o'clock, we have gone to 8 beautiful states of the northeast part of India. In between, we had an interaction with wonderful youngsters from Nagaland, their entire team. We had a deliberations, and such a young, vibrant, children. I'm proud of all of them. And 3 o'clock, then we went to northeast, and thereafter 5 o'clock, and now we are here at 8 o'clock. And after this 9:30, we have got a program on micro, small, and medium enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the canvas of ICSI. 28 webinars every week. teachers and youth empowerment, very important. We have taken that agenda. And during this pandemic, all the research data which we collected from various sources, our people, those are stationed in different countries, we have learned and we have picked up B2B is no more business to business. It's back to basics of life. And over there, basic food, basic health, basic education. And children, you've got to pull up your socks now because it's no more sleepy education. It's a earn and learn. Do not trouble your parents. Post pandemic, you got to rather become support for your family. And I go to Napoleon Hill and I remember something very interesting what he conveyed. Whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. You got to be having self-conviction. You can do it. Then the strategy comes, you will do it and you must do it. So let's come together. Let's make education relevant. It's a global confluence of educators, motivators, inspirational speakers, technocrats, counselors, wellness experts, corporate, government administrators, and decision makers from the world over. Those are a part of it. And we are privileged. Today, we have got a very distinguished guest, Professor Rajasekhar Vangapatiji. He is the registrar, Fashion Institute of Technology at the State University of New York in United States. He's joining us early morning. We are grateful to him. Professor Rajashekharji, he has been working in the higher education since 1983 as an administrator and a faculty member. As a recipient of the German and French government scholarships, Professor Raj has learned and shared the education and cultures in Germany, France, England, Holland, Malta, and Dubai. Professor Raji, he enjoys advising and counseling the diverse student bodies, domestic and international student population in his work as a registrar, Fashion Institute of Technology. Professor Raji served as a board member in a number of organizations, vice president, Information Technology, State University of New York, Registrars Association, Board of Directors, Ascribe Company, board member of Briarcliff College. Currently, Professor Raji is a board member of the Briarcliff College, Vice President, Academics and Technology of the American Institute of Technology, Chairman, Advisory Council of Save the Weavers Organization, and Education Chair Advisor to the American Telugu Association. I'm proud to share that one of my, Mamiji's daughter, she's married to a Telugu boy. he's in United States at present, and he's also a technocrat who basically is on to the IT solutions. So another association I get on to Telugu. Okay. Professor Raji is working on two major projects to help the handloom weavers in getting their work recognized globally, providing the soft skills, spoken English, computer education, skill and employable vocational skill building, and leadership program to the students of government schools in India. He volunteers in multicultural community centers in New York area, as well as conducts academic computer courses to the senior citizens and counseling workshop session. Ladies and gentlemen, every week you meet Dr. Vivek Shankar Natarajan. He is our advisor in United States. He's the one who does the packaging. He's the one who gets the assembly and the confluence, the best of the cerebrums of the world together. And he's at the Lamar University, Texas. He's a professor of marketing. Professor Dr. Vivek Shankar Natarajanji is a professor of marketing, and he is based out of Texas, USA. He holds his Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering from Bangalore, and that is Bangalore University, and MBA in International Business from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and PhD in Marketing at University of Texas. Dr. Professor Natarajanji is one of the most experienced professor in area of online education, which is the need of hour, and role of technology in higher education, with continuous involvement in that area for about a decade. He was awarded the Distinguished Educator Award by Federation of the Business Disciplines Association of Collegiate Marketing Educators in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome to all my friends, those are coming on YouTube, and at the same time, our distinguished speaker, Professor Rajashekar R. Vengapatiji and Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji, I would request Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji to take on the floor and to take the discussion forward. With these words, we extend a very warm welcome to all of you, wherever you are world over. And I think we are going to have a wonderful deliberations, discussions, and celebrations together. With these words, Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji. Unmute your mic, Vivek Shankarji.
Yeah. Good evening or Shubha Sayankalam in India, Suprabhatam or good morning to
and
all.
Your prayer here. First. Your prayer first.
Absolutely. No. Today is what, again, personally, I may or I may not follow some of these things, but at least today in the US, we do have this tradition. Today is called Father's Day. So a lot of fathers are being very celebrated. But of course, in our Indian tradition, the Bharatiya Samskriti, we do Mata Pita Guru Vandan every day. So every day is a Father's Day, every day is a Mother's Day, every day is a Guru Teacher's Day. But the thought that a father is very special, at least on one day of the year, that is something good. And, why not? So I start with the prayer by Kalidasa. He says, Vagarta viva samprukta, Vagarta pratipatte, Jagatah pitaro vande, Parvati Parameshwaram. Very interesting. But see, when he uses the word pitaro, pitaro means mata and pita both are included in the word pitaro. Because without a mata, there is no pita, and without there is no pita, there is no mata. So this idea, this Shiva Shakti thing that is there, Kalidasa says Parvati Parameshwara, they are the eternal parents, and they are like word and meaning, Vag Artha, Iva Samprukto. So in our tradition, this idea of worshipping father and mother is there every day when we do Shiva and Shakti Ka Upasana. So with that, that's kind of the interesting thing today. Now, it's been a while since I've been speaking, because for a while we had the research kind of track going, and Professor Satyaji had to excuse for a while. He'll be back soon. And so we were thinking, and for a long time, Gulshanji and I have been talking about what will be a game changer. And again, I mean that not just in a 100-meter sprint sense or a 500-meter sprint sense, but in a marathon sense. What's going to transform education? And this is something big. And this 1 year, the pandemic is what I call as a tipping point. It has changed the way things happen. It has proved that technologies will work. I mean, there are some pitfalls when we do online education, but I think all of us here, at least on this panel, believe that when a country like India, where we need to leapfrog in terms of education and how do we empower educators, technology is going to play a vital role. Now, it's very easy for people like me, we all put equations on the board and put theoretical models. We can come up with case studies, and that's useful because theory gives you a way of thinking. But you need boots on the ground stories, what we call as war stories, to help people understand what are the things that can be done with technology. So I reached out to one of my good friends. We know each other for about a year now. We work for the Society of Indian American Academics, which is why last week I was busy because we had the world renowned Padma Bhushan Professor Jagdish Sheth talking to us again on this topic. So I was reaching out to my good friend Raj Vangapati. He serves as a secretary. I serve as the academic secretary for SIA. I said, Raji, what are the things that we can do for teachers in India? Because this is passionate. I'm part of ICSI, and Gulshanji has told me we need to empower our teachers through technology, and we need to give them and tell them what's the best that's happening. So he talked about what he had done in his role as a registrar at Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. But he also talked about what he's doing with high school teachers in his state. I believe it's Telangana. Although if you're a Telugu speaking person, they have two states right now. So it's Andhra and Telangana. So I thought he's probably doing both. So it's very interesting. And of course, as you rightly said, if you're from IT and if you're, if you're in America and you're from Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, you should be in IT. That's kind of a given thing, so it's very easy. So it goes with the territory. So without much ado, I'm going to ask him to talk about his life story because it's very compelling. But it's also, and again, this is not going to be a one-day affair. I've told Rajji or Raj Garu, as I call him, that we can do a series of webinars, talk a little bit about how teachers can be enabled. So remember, he's doing all of these initiatives on his own dime, meaning he's putting his own money where his mouth is. So at least in my case, Gulshanji is providing all the platform, but Raj Garu is putting his own money, is reaching out to high school teachers in Telangana. I said, hey, this is a great story. Let's listen from him. So today is probably a trailer. We're going to talk a little bit about it. So let me open the question, and we have about 40 minutes because I want to keep this bite-sized portion. We are not going to go for a full 25 course meal, but let's keep it bite-sized. In the US, we say 100-calorie snacks. So we should keep it that way. Because that way, what happens is people process it, and then there's, they get some interest. And we need questions also. So Raj Garu, please tell me about your background. You did tell me about your personal story, which was very compelling. The way you were born in a very traditional family, and the way you bootstrapped yourself, went to school, the role of your teacher in making whom you are today. And then your life as a Fashion Institute of Technology, your role as a registrar, and a little bit about your NGO. And that might be what we can cover today. And then Gulshanji will take it from there. He will kind of read some question answers. Remember, if you have listened to Binaka Geet Mala and all that, that's the way Gulshanji does it. He watches all these YouTube feedback and says, so and so from Ranchi is saying this, and so on from Delhi is saying this, and the only thing he doesn't tell is ask us to sing a favorite song, because I think that will be the surest way to close this webinar. In fact, Gulshanji, I think personal congratulations. Tomorrow is the World Yoga Day, but you've done 1,000 webinars. So, or you're about to reach 1,000. 1,000 is a very special number. We chant all the Sahasranam and all that. So you've done Sahasra webinars. That's very good, So with that, Rajji, so you're joining us around the 1,000 points. So you're 1,000, you're very special to us. So with that, Rajji, good morning. I know you're 2 hours behind me. So it's actually 8 in the morning. So he's already up with his cup of coffee, and he's I think in the good state of Oregon or Portland city. So tell us, the floor is yours, Rajji. Let's get started. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, thank you very much, Dr. Sharmaji, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. And Professor Vivekji, thank you for introducing me. Wonderful to be part of this session. It's an honor, and I'm very much humbled on this one. Thank you very much, sir, Sharmaji and Vivekji, for getting this opportunity. It's been a long journey of my personal and professional journey since my childhood. I just wanted to briefly tell, because Vivekji asking about my childhood, how I actually went through my childhood education and personal and professional lives. I'm actually one of the 5 children of a doctor who was actually did his medicine in England. He came back to India after finishing his medicine, but he's very particular in homeopathy. So he did homeopathy medicine in England, and he came back to Warangal and started his practice. So the practice was going on well, but he's focused on only to how to cure the chronic diseases, not for cold and cough. So he was challenging the medicine with the all the symptoms of the issues which patients are having it. He used to take only the cases where, after unsuccessful trials from the other medicinal areas, so he was helping those patients. He was not for them. His profession was not for money, but only to take the challenge at how to cure the all these issues of the health issues. Then, after he came back to India, so he went through the education system in the UK, and he thought, why should send to the school? Why can't we do the home study for one of his kids, actually? So I became one of the guinea pigs who was not sent to any school. So he was teaching me English and math, and he asked me to study the rest of the subjects. So I used to have all books, and Also, I used to have some other books also, non-academic books also. So my whole life was around the books at home under his guidance. So I didn't never have any experience with the schooling. It was fun and challenging for me to learn the things by myself, some portion of it, and some I was guided. So long story short, then at the age of 12, I lost my father actually. So that was really a shock and a big vacuum for me, particularly because I didn't know what to do. So because he was the person who was teaching me English and math, then whether I should go back to school or not, that's a dilemma and question. My mother was not happy to send me to the school. Then one of my father's friends is a headmaster and was a teacher in the mathematics. So he came forward and asked my mother, okay, send this fellow to be under my guidance, and I'll teach him mathematics and science and other subjects so that he can do matriculation privately. So that's how my journey actually took a different turn. And then I went to under his guidance. I got trained in mathematics, English, and other subjects. I appeared matriculation privately, matriculation. Then I passed matriculation. First time, of course, I failed because I was not practiced about how to answer the questions. Even though I know the subject, I knew the subject, but I could not able to. So I failed bitterly. And then I regained and I passed matriculation. Then I went to 12th grade at the university. Then I gave the entrance for engineering entrance. I passed through the entrance and I got through the entrance and I got the seat in a university college. So that's a very prestigious Swan University on-campus college. So I graduated with the engineering degree. Then I worked for 1 year. Then I went to master's program in IIT, one of the IITs. I studied there. Then I was appointed as a professor also in the same university. That's one of the IITs. That's the BHU, which you called, and then now it's one of the IITs. So I served there for 8 years. I got a French government scholarship. I was in France for a year and a half. Then after that, I came to US and did my master's in computer science. And I've been in the teaching for the last 37 years. So that's my academic side also. So I never left the classroom because I have passion for the classroom to see how I can transfer actually my knowledge to the other side of the table. So, so how to bring the other side of the table people to my side in the knowledge wise. So that's what always my passion and see that one, how it can happen, how can it be done. So with that intention, actually, so I never left the classroom, even though my classmates and all, they all went to the industry and making tons of money, but the money was not important for me. I wanted to see that one, how I can really share my knowledge to the teachers and as well as for the students. So I went to India, on and off, but it was not regularly. So 6 years, this is the 7th year actually, 6 years ago, I went back to India and to see that how the things are going on in the family and all. Then I met a couple of students. When I met a couple of students, I was asking them actually, so what did you do and what were you doing and all. So it was very disappointing to see that one, the knowledge level and the skill set of the competency from these kids who actually claim the graduates of engineering graduates. It was shocking for me. And to see that one, even they could not even say the names of the subjects, forget about the content, but even the names of the subjects, what they learned and all. So it was very, bothering me. And then it was very painful to see that one, how an engineering graduate can come out without having such a caliber and skill set. Then I went back and surveyed the other engineering students and where the problem actually was coming from, root cause. Then I went to the government schools because I want to see that one, a lot of students are coming from the government schools. Of course, I'm not worried about the private schools and the private engineering colleges all and all. So where the government school kids, what is the problem actually? So that's where I started going into more depth and digging into the information and the skill set and the curriculum, what they are teaching, what is actually laid down, what is in the books, and what is actually taught. So these are the things actually it was bothering, and I went through all the information. Then I decided, okay. So everybody was pointing out, okay, government schools, they don't do well and they don't teach there anything. And all these comments are there, but there's no constructive criticism. Is always say that one, uh, it can be improved, but no constructive decisions are proposals are there. Well, so I should not be part of that one, but I should show some difference. I should show some guidance, and I should bring some skill set into the kids, actually, the students. So with that intention, what I did, can I share my screen, actually?
Go ahead, go ahead.
All yours, sir.
Yes.
All yours.
Yes, thank you. Let me put the screen on this.
Down below, there's a green button, share.
Yes, yeah. I'm just trying to open the
Yeah.
this one. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes, please.
So as I told you about seeing the how I could improve the quality of education in government schools. So that's actually my journey started. I'll come back to this Empowerment Skills International and these things. So I need to see that one government school is controlled by the collector. I visited a school nearby my hometown in Warangal, in Telangana. I spoke to the headmaster and I spoke to the teachers. Then I came to know where the problem was actually. And then I realized and went to the collector of the state, a district. That time, one lady used to be collector. And then I spoke to the collector. Then collector told, oh, we don't have any funds to improve the schools. Then I said, no, I'm not asking the funds. But the thing is, I want to bring up how I can support the schools in changing the quality of education. Then she said, okay, yes, well, sit down, we can discuss. And she invited a DEO, a district education officer, and she told that, okay, so this so-and-so professor is here, and he is from Warangal, and he wanted to help the government schools. Then he guided me to which schools actually to be visited and how we can improve the quality of education. So I spoke with the headmaster, teachers, students, and parents also, because I want to make sure the parents understand the value of the education and the quality of education, how really, and the responsibility as a parent and responsibility for the students, how they can improve their quality of education. So with this one, I came back to US again, and I opened a charitable organization because I want to do legitimate work so that we can have accountability of the work and as well as the funds what we spend. So I started Empowerment Skills International in USA, which got the approval for the 501c3 approved. That's a charitable official organization, which is approved by the federal government with a non-profit status. So that's the Empowerment Skills International. And in India also, we actually, because whatever we are trying to do, it has to be a legitimate organization also. We started the Society for Empowerment Skills Global in Warangal, India. So this way, whatever we are trying to do from US, we can channelize through the Indian organization also. So this is basically we started it. Then we thought, okay, what are we trying to do? In this situation, so being in America and in India organization, we can do certain things. So I had to come back and see the curriculum of the schools and see what actually added skill set I can really give to the students. So that way they can come back. They can, once they graduate from the 10th grade, they should achieve some technology knowledge, spoken English, and some vocational skills. As Gulshanji is saying that one should have some skill set where they can really account on that one and see how they can earn some money also at the same time. Like I used to learn that one, earn while you learn. So earn while you learn. So that used to be the slogan in American universities and schools. Why not we have that one in Indian schools also, even though it's we say that one underage employment and all, but still earn while you learn could be implied in our government schools also. So coming back to this one, so as we have been told, I work in FIT, Fashion of Technology in New York, and I'm president for the Empowerment Skills International New York. Then I started teaching through technology in India and USA. Our motto is encourage, engage, educate, and empower. Once again, encourage, engage, educate, and empower. So first thing, actually, we need to see that one, how a kid can be encouraged to learn something different than what is academic side. So academic side, the teachers are teaching and it's a routine thing. But other than that, there are other things to learn. We should really educate them first, encourage them, and we should engage them to see that one, how they can be learning the new technology or new skills, then educate properly, like training. And then finally, we empower them. The empowering is not for actually for their sake. My empowering them is always to see that one, how they can spread the knowledge, how they can share the knowledge with the other contemporaries or other teachers, if they're teachers, if they're students, how they can share their knowledge with the other students. So with that one, we started a number of programs, which I'll go through. So this is the Empowerment Skills International in US and Society for Empowerment Skills Global in Warangal. How we can really make sure that the technology can be a tool to help the learning and leverage the learning also. So with that, this thing, pedagogy is the strategy to help students to learn. Our courses explore some very important strategies that will help you effectively manage your course activities and assignments in your classroom. That's what I said to the teachers, by teaching them how we can really improve the teaching and learning process using the technology. So a lot of people have the dreams. So I have a couple of quotations which really actually very, very effective. This is the one thing, when I came to US, I was actually questioning to all the university, why it is so expensive? Why it is so expensive education? So I was told, because you're investing in that one, where you can reap the fruits for the whole life. And this one. So an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. That's what's already told. So this is where actually I believe, and I do this one. I practice also. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruits are always sweeter. So this is another thing which is actually striking one. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. So this is where a lot of times we miss a couple of things in this one. So we try to see that one, how we can see that one, to think intensively and to think critically. And our own past president and Dr. Abdul Kalam has quoted a lot of quotations for education. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. So a lot of students see that one, oh, I failed. So people also show that one, okay, that kid is a failing kid. He can never make a difference. all these discouragement is more than the encouragement, and to see that one how a student from a government school students can be really supported to see that one how to get successful in their lives. So there's another one. Don't take rest after your first victory, because if you fail in second, more lips are waiting to say that your first victory was just a luck. So this is another challenging one. So just don't celebrate just with only one victory, and we need to see that continuously you should work for victories. So there are a couple of more here. The last one, what I see this one is, dream is not that which you see while sleeping. It is something that does not let you sleep. That's what I always tell our students, particularly our government school students, because I work very closely. They're very dear to me, and I work very closely with them. So dream here is the goal. Goal is not that which you see while sleeping. It is something that does not let you sleep. So the goal is such a strong goal one should have, so that until you accomplish the goal, you should not sleep. So that's what I also follow it. I preach and I follow. That's how where we are right now. I'm blessed with the education, with support of my parent. My mother was very strong and was forcing me to study, not to start job after 12th grade, because I was very much interested to go to the find some job in Air Force, because one of my cousins actually got into Air Force that time as a non-commissioned officers. But my mother told very clearly, no, do not join as a non-commissioned officers. Join as a commissioned officers once you graduate. So that's where actually I am always thankful to my mother, my direction, even though she was only a matriculate mother. And so that's how I completed my engineering, and then I pursued my higher education and all this. Because of her, today I'm where I am right now. That's about my little journey for myself. And then what I did in the government schools, I went to the government school and I studied actually analysis. I did little analysis and see that one, what is actually missing, and how we can really uh, change the learning and the teaching methods in the government schools. What are the need analysis? Then competency. What is the competency required? What is the expectation actually at the end of the graduation? That's the 10th grade, because high schools mostly, which the high schools in Telangana, unless it's the CBSE and the 12th grade, but 10+2 system. So at 10th grade, if a kid comes out from the school, what all the skill set we are expecting from them? So then I did the need analysis, and then competency is a requirement, and needs, what the school needs actually, and availability of the equipment and the skill set from the teachers and external support, and the gap, how much is the gap, and limitations and the possible solutions. So these are the areas where I focused and came up with some uh, basic solutions, at least to bring some change in the government school teachers as well as the government school students. With that, we started, as I told, we met the DO again, and headmaster, teachers, students, and parents. What they want actually, and what is existing, and where they should go. So we studied the curriculum, school's curriculum, and skill set to add on this one. So we decided to see that one, how the kids can be part of the current technology, at least the basic technology. I've seen the kids in a government school, they never even touch the keyboard. Some of the schools where they never touch the keyboard of the computer keyboard. Then I started thinking, okay, how to incorporate technology by giving the hardware to the government schools. So I provided government schools digital projector, computers, laptops, and some other equipment, which I come to that one. So with the digital projector, computers, and the internet connection to the whole year. We gave the whole year internet connection. So that way, what happened, with the connection of the internet, they're able to connect to the whole world from their fingertips in the government school itself. Then we started a music and dance classes, then spoken English, then fashion design program. The music and dance is the program we started because we want to make sure how to develop the leadership qualities in the students. So it's the coordination and the collaborative work. When you see the music and dance, always that gives the leadership qualities, it improves. And the spoken English, because English is the language where they can go outside the city or outside the country where they can prove the language. Language is the power. So English is the one common language where with that one, students and for the higher studies and in the job point of view also is very helpful. So that's one area. Then the fashion design program. Why fashion design program? The most of the schools which I started with are the government girls' schools actually. So we wanted to see that when a girl can feel confident by the time she graduates from the 10th grade. So with that one fashion design program, where we teach them how to stitch the garments for themselves and they can stitch for others also. So by stitching garments for themselves, they save the money, and that's nothing but saving a penny is earning a money, earning a penny. That's what we believe. And by stitching to the other people, other in the family members or other friends, they can earn money. So with these four areas, we started helping a couple of government schools. Started with one, and currently we are doing with the 3 government schools. We are helping in this one. So we gave the hardware for the computer technology. We hired a special teacher to teach the technology. And the music and dance also, we gave some equipment, audio equipment, and some dresses for the dancing students. And a teacher, we hired the teacher. We pay the salaries to the teacher. Spoken English also, we gave the audio files and the digital audio files and text for that one. So the students can listen and then they can practice listening and saying with the accent and how to say, where to stress and where to lower the voice in the language. So that also we taught them. We're teaching.
Professor Sab, you're providing everything online from New York?
No, sir. It's actually first we started with that one physically. We did that one. So that's why we started hiring a teacher for technology, a teacher for dance, live. These are live classes, spoken English, and fashion design classes also, teaching to the kids with a trained teacher on the fashion side.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So this has been going through since the last 6 years in all these schools. The next, actually, so what happened? How to? I generally go to India every summer for a whole month, complete a month in the month of June. But due to the pandemic, what happened? I could not go during the 2020 and 19 also, because 19 I went. After that, I came back in 2020. March, I came back, and after that, the school started closing. March 18, I started contacting the schools again and see that one, due to the pandemic closure, what else we can do digitally and virtually. So we discussed, and I came up with the idea of taking the Zoom, professional Zoom account, and started teaching the classes. They were not ready to actually to see that one how they can learn. They have no clue to see that one how we can really learn through the technology, through the virtually particularly. Then first started with 11 teachers. First batch with 11 teachers. I told them, don't worry, I will teach from here. And then all I need is actually a smartphone. I'm not asking the technology, not hardware, not laptops and all. If you have the smartphone, you can learn. So I prepared the curriculum for them. And where actually I can do, we started customizing learning sessions to train the trainer, teaching through technology programs. So I do not want to record something and then give it to them. I want to teach them live. So that way I can see what are the difficulties the other side, the teachers are having it, and I can solve then and there. With this one, on March 18, we started digital classes in a lot of areas actually. So see that one, how we can engage teachers and how we can engage the students also virtually. So in the computer technology, like a teaching what is the hardware and software, digital classroom setting up actually. So how to set up a digital classroom, designing and developing self-grading tests because they are not physically there, and the teachers have to see that one, how the students are going to be tested and what are the grades they are getting, which sums or which questions are correctly answered, and what are the mistakes they are doing it. The teachers should know all these things. Then coding and programming, web designing, web hosting and websites, spoken English, music and dance, fashion design programs. So how we can do this one virtually also. So with this, we started instructing to the teachers first, not the students. But the goal with the teaching through technology to the teachers, train the trainers. So they're going to learn the skills from me, and they got to again conduct the sessions to the students. So that's actually the goal, and it worked very well. And I'm not going to so in depth today, but I wanted to give you briefly this area. If I have the time, I will definitely do that one. But I just wanted to share a couple of highlights of this one. So far, more than 1,200 teachers have been trained. The NEP, National Education Policy 2020, came in, and in that one, all the skill sets, what they learn now, and we've been teaching all this whole year, they are actually the seed for the many teachers, what they can really do with the NEP 2020 curriculum. Once we started this one, even the government did not start at that time, because the moment they closed, I started these sessions. And many of the teachers who got trained are the resource teachers for many other sessions. And they conducted hundreds of sessions for the other teachers, and they started teaching to the other students also, their own students, and as well as the other district students also. The whole state actually now, lot of teachers who are trained from our Empowerment Skills International became the resource teachers for many areas, not only the technology side. We started even the social sciences. We taught the sciences, like physical sciences and the biological sciences teachers also. We conduct number of sessions actually for these teachers. They're trained. I'm not teaching the content of the subject here. We're training them how to teach their content using the technology. So that is actually the key of training the teachers using the technology. So in that way, we were very successful, and very, very, excellent teachers we actually trained, and they became most excellent, and they became the resource teachers for many, many sessions for the teachers, like train the trainers and training the students also.
Professor Sab, there is a question from Julie Subba ma'am from Manipur, that is northeast part of India. And she's asking, specific question, in which sector the trainers are conducted. So if I correctly understand, you're basically giving how to deliver the content.
Correct. So yes, that's very true. And also I taught them how to use the technology, because that's the most important thing. So many people have the laptops, many people have for example, desktops, but they're not even sure what the left click on the mouse actually, on the mouse left click, what it does, and what the right click does it actually. So to that level, I'm not putting anybody down, but many people, even I will tell you, even the masters in computer science also, they don't know what is the RAM, what is the RAM actually. So it's not the question, because a lot of superficial knowledge will be there, but when you want to teach something, one should know the in-depth knowledge of the technology, and to see that one, how we can use technology to teach the classes. So that's what in the sector is actually to see the government school students and the teachers, how they benefit with the existing at no cost technology. My session is always with not spending money for the software or anything, but existing software, what we can learn and how we can deliver the our class content to the teachers and the students.
Excellent.
I hope I answered that question.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
There
you.
is another question from Toronto, downtown Ontario. That's in Canada, Mr. Vikas Malhotra. Are those education skill sets in government schools referred to schools in India or USA? I think you're referring to Warangal.
Warangal in India, sir. India, yes. Definitely in India.
3 government schools.
Yes, government schools where they have not even a keyboard availability. So in that level, so like not only urban, but in rural area also, in the government schools in India, particularly for a girl empowerment also. I have a little edge on that one, because I want to make sure that every girl should be empowered with technology, as well as spoken English and self-reliance actually, so that she can make some money. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No,
you can answer.
Go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes. So while teaching, actually, there's no website for the government schools existing in India. When I taught the teachers, I taught the computer technology and how to set up the digital classroom and how to run the digital classes through LMS, that's the learning management system, with no cost. As we all know, Google is a wonderful place where we can really depend on, and more secured. And a digital classroom, I taught them how to develop and design the digital classroom for the various subjects: mathematics, English, social sciences, the sciences, and all. And also, during the pandemic, how to test the knowledge of the students, what they're learning. So we developed the self-grading tests using the Google technology again. And we designed the self-grading tests so that we can send the link through the WhatsApp, because most of the students and teachers and the parents have the WhatsApp accounts. So we used to send the link through the WhatsApp. All the student has to do is click the link, and then the test pops up. They can put the answers and submit the button. Once they submit the button, the teacher will get the answers, and the student also gets the grade actually. So the teacher doesn't need to do any physical grading of the tests. So that's the beauty of it. And we developed those tests, and it was very popular, and it has become so popular that many subject areas, they started developing their own digital self-grading tests. Then after that, how to generate thinking actually. So we started teaching them the coding. Coding is nothing but computational thinking. How to develop the computational thinking in the teachers first, and then how they can teach to the students. So we started teaching the computational thinking, and we taught them the coding also, the programming, computer programming, to the scratch. It's like a game, through the games and the language, how to educate them first thinking, how to think computationally. Then seeing that there are no websites for the government schools, we started teaching the web design to the teachers. When we started web design teachers, we want to make sure that how they can design the websites to the government schools. So with that one, 40 teacher, more than 60 teachers were trained, and 40 schools got the web designing sessions, and the webmasters have been trained, and now they are managing their websites of their school websites. And for the hosting and domain training and all done by our Empowerment Skills International. Then spoken English. Then I'm from Usmania University. I graduated from Usmania University. We thought of doing something, giving back to the Usmania University, and we started thinking of physically challenged students from Usmania University, where we can really pitch in and help them in getting their jobs, because many of graduates from Usmania were not getting the jobs because they were not trained in the skill set where they need to get into jobs. So in that area, we started mentoring them and to see that one, how they can improve their skill set, because everybody was waiting for the government jobs only, and they were not focusing, and they are not getting trained to the non-government jobs. So we really took a lot of time, one-on-one sessions for them, at least year and 1.5 hours, 2 hours. We need to educate them, and we educated them and mentored them. See, not only government jobs, but there are some private jobs also. They're very highly paid jobs are there, provided you show the skill set and all. So we started teaching them and training them in the technology side and spoken English, and as well as soft skills also. So through this one, we could able to place 8 handicapped, that's the physically challenged students, and still the trainings are going. And we could able to get some laptops to them. Some generous donors came forward when we told them that we are helping these students, and they got laptops. They received free laptops, and training sessions still they're going on this one. Then coming to the fashion design program. Yes,
that's a great noble cause.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You have done. It's really appreciable. Sir, can we take one more question? There's a lady
Yes.
from Uttar Pradesh. She is Manisha Chaturvedi. She is writing, are the teachers trained under Train the Trainers certified with Government of India certificate to further become a trainer in any vocational training institute? That means these teachers to whom you are training, one is that you have got your Empowerment Skills International, and you have got Society for Empowerment Skills in
Global. Yes.
Global.
Yes.
And do you have any alliances with the Government of India or joint certification or something of that sort? Because if you are having in government schools, so is it a DEO or is it a state education department or somebody else? Because basic objective is that if something of that kind is being done, then teachers, those are already in job and those are upskilling themselves. It gets into their dossier, any such training.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Many times when I started any this training sessions, a couple of questions arise actually. Are they going to get any certificates, training certificates and all? So I tell them, I do not give any certificates. You are my certificate actually, because the skill set what they learn is the skill set what they're going to share. The answer for your question, and Chaturvedi, I did not involve any governmental train the trainer program in this one, because it's exclusively for a particular group of students, teachers, and I want to see reduce the gap what they have it right now. So for that purpose. So definitely the future, because I want to test my waters actually. What I'm doing, is it really giving the value, adding to the knowledge of the students and teachers? So that's why actually since the last 6 years, I've been working on this one. And definitely when I get the opportunity, I did not approach any leaders and any political people or any government, but I got the permission to do these trainings, and DO requests me actually to run conduct the sessions. This is all the sessions are off the time actually. It could be in the evenings or in the weekends, where they are not affected there during their curriculum time. because this is like a private one. So it's a anything, but it's recommended by the DO and approved by the DO to ask us and to run these sessions for them.
It's just to
And
upskill them. It's just to upskill them so that they can perform better.
absolutely, yes, sir.
And is there any fixed duration of these programs?
Yes, I'm going to come and just
okay.
absolutely. I'm going to say that one. But I wanted to see that one, how this is done. And since the last 6 years, I've been doing this, and the program was so encouraged. And recently, we started one session. There are 1,029, 1,129 students actually participated, enrolled into this one. 1,129. I had to stop the form actually to see that one. I mean, so we can really help them in the second section. So with this one, the 6 weeks program, for example, as you said, I mean, so I have already the information. There's 6 weeks basic program and 6 weeks advanced programs. So in this one, what we teach, the hardware, software, email, and My Drive, actually, where we say all the data, and the Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, Google Slides, integration of all these apps, and the Google Classroom. So this is the first basic and advanced levels we teach in this area. This is one 6 weeks program. The other one is actually, the next one is the web designing and web hosting. This is another one also, 6 weeks basic and 6 weeks advanced. Next, computational thinking, as I told before, exclusive for understanding computer programming, computational thinking, and computer coding. This is also 6 weeks basic program and 6 weeks advanced program. And 6 weeks basic and advanced for the spoken English. In this one, pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. So these are the programs we suggest for the many schools, and many schools are taking this benefit from our programs, and they are trained to teach the other teachers. That's one thing. And also those teachers, those who wanted to teach their students, they are adopting the same methods, and they are able to improve the skill set and the knowledge in the quality of education. That's where we are right now. So far, I mean, this is all for today, and we'll extend our sessions in the more details in the future sessions because of the time limitations. Thank you, Sharmaji and Vivekji. I'm open for the questions now.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful, valuable inputs from your side for all of us. In fact, I jumped the gun and I took the questions in between only, so
No
that,
problem.
you know, and that is also very interesting that it is done after the working hours so that the normal routine is not disturbed at all. And one more thing, it's a 1 week program when you talk, 6 weeks program when you talk about. That means we presume about 5 days a week, but how many hours per day?
Oh, 1 hour. Between 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Yes.
So that means let's take it, if it is 5 hours per week multiplied by 6. So that's about 30 hours package.
Yes.
Okay. For the basic also and for the advanced also.
Advanced also, yes.
Okay. And this you are giving as a gesture to humanity.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, and they all, I paid the salaries to the teachers from my pocket. I mean, I should not say from my pocket, but God has given me the opportunity to help these people.
Wow.
From my side. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's remarkable. That's remarkable. I really appreciate, because the concept of e-Gurukul, which Professor Satyendra Dhimanji, who is our former president of the chamber and presently the patron based out of Los Angeles, and he's with the Woodbury University in Burbanks. So he's the one who is bringing a concept of e-Gurukul, because sir, we can close your presentation so that we can come face to face.
Sure, absolutely.
We can come. So ladies and gentlemen, here is our distinguished guest of today.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
And such a pleasure, such a pleasure. So, you know, Professor Satyendra Dhimanji.
Gulshanji, one request, sir, if I'm sorry. We today he's a guest. From next week, he's also one of us. So, Dr. Rajshekhar ji has said we believe in synergy. He has expressed very deep interest in working with ICSI, and because we all work for the same cause. Yes. And I'm hoping that more teachers can benefit from these platforms. So as I said, this should not be one presentation, one episode, but more series. And we can even bring principals in and let them talk to Rajshekhar ji and do Q&As, more focused sessions, so that his idea is he doesn't want to certify. Everybody will become a certificate. So everybody who comes to these panels should become a walking certificate. That is the proof of the his concept, and we need to make sure it reaches more people. That is my humble request, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. I didn't know that I had to come up to 1,000 webinars during the pandemic to discover Professor Rajasekhar ji from Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji, because the thing is, we are talking nowadays about e-Gurukul Gyan Yagya. Today only I talked to, yesterday we had Arunachal Pradesh people from northeast part of India. Today we had a discussion with the president of all the Naga students, what we have got, including Myanmar and all the different bodies. I was talking to them. And our former president and present patron of the chamber, Professor Satyendra Dhimanji, which I was sharing with you, he along with Dr. A.S. Marwaha and others. Dr. A.S. Marwaha is the president of Indo-American Dental Association. He is based out of Malibu. So, yeah. So lots of people. Then Vikas Malhotra, who is, based out of Toronto, who asked a question also. And he always joins for the program, very, very active in Canada. So all these people, we are going to start e-Gurukul Gyan Yagya. That means no money to be taken from any student, and equal opportunity and equal platform and equal kind of, avenues to be opened up for the children. Those are less privileged, and particularly those are in far-flung areas, remote areas, and those are near border areas. Those are in sensitive areas. Those are sometime due to climatic conditions, 6 months they are approachable, 6 months they are not available. So we are trying to reach out every child, and efforts are no money to be spent by their parents or by children, and everything should be provided to them. And you rightly said, you require only a smartphone, and that smartphone means karlo mutti, wo kya bolte, karlo duniya apna jeb mein. So yes, that is the kind of a thing one has to move on. So we are so grateful to you, Professor Saab. We are so grateful to you. Let me just check if there is any other question from anybody before I hand over to.
Just let me have one word, sir, before.
Sure. Please, sir. Please go ahead.
It's my honor if I can extend my digital education to anywhere in the world, including any borders. There's no border actually. So please put me on the same map, and then I'll be part of your journey. And definitely we can help more students and more community actually.
You would be so happy to know there's another soldier who joins regularly. He is a soldier in civil clothes. His name is Arumugam Srinivasanji. He is from Tamil Nadu. He was earlier with the Sainik School Nagrota in Jammu and Kashmir. Wow. And he regularly comes, and he is so active. And he has done the Padman series with us. Oh. He's doing on Swami Vivekananda with us. He's doing a couple of other programs with us. It's really remarkable. And there's a Dr. Puran Singh ji who has joined us today. He is a person who is a director for waste to resource management. Wow. Waste to resource management.
Yes.
And he is working on nowadays cleaning of water, cleaning of rivers, ponds, lakes, and couple of other places. He's writing, yes, when we were in senior secondary schools, some of the teachers used to take extra classes in the morning before the school hours and in the evening after school hours. And they were in the category of Professor Rajasekhar ji. That's what he's writing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
And senior consultant, somebody is writing, how much job placement has been done so far? If I understand, you're doing a program for people, those are already in job in government schools.
Yes, for the teachers, I'm training.
Yes,
That's one
yes.
thing. But the job point of view, I think the gentleman is referring.
Yeah.
Osmania University graduates, and particularly for the physically challenged students, I'm trying to help the physically challenged students. For those students, we are training them, and we could able to place 8 students so far within the this is the 8 months. In the 8 months, we could able to place 8 students.
Okay.
These are I'm talking about the physically challenged graduates, master's programs, and bachelor's program students from the Osmania University, because my alma mater is Osmania University. So
okay,
that's where I graduated.
There's a
That's
very
one area.
important, yeah, sir, there's a very important question which has come. It has come from Meghalaya, and it is from a madam called Nan Lai. She is telling, are these training programs aligned with the Vocational Council of Indian syllabi? Now, what is happening is there is a separate Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. And when we are talking about vocational education, there is a duration fixed, there is a curriculum which has been designed, and there's a national curriculum framework also, which is now being taken care of in terms of new education policy 2020. So the package what you are offering at this point of time, if it anywhere fits into alignment with the ongoing vocational courses in India, as it is, people can get a dual certification. That means they can have the training from you, but they could also be aligned somewhere at par with the programs which are being offered by Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, through its various sector skill councils.
Sir, very, very, very valid point. And I'm thrilled to answer this question, because I went through the syllabus, what those curriculums actually have it. They have been there, not only NEP, even before also, because before I was going through this program, I customized my training programs after seeing those curriculums only. Why? Because they are there in the books, in the library, collecting the dust, but it's not been practically done. It's not like criticizing, but there was no opportunity for the teachers get trained properly. Not, I mean, some schools are already there, but the schools where I was working actually.
Okay.
So in that area, the teachers was not trained in those the vocational areas, and because every day from 3 to 4, even the syllabus has a period to be allocated for learning these other activities, which was not actually done. And so that's where actually my picture came in, and we started putting those things together. But definitely the curriculum, what the vocational training has it, our training is much more higher than that. So if we can collaborate with the government curriculum, and so I think I request Sharmaji, if we can align that one, definitely.
We will work.
I mean, we'll work on that one.
Yes.
And definitely we'll have the dual certificates. We can be working on that one.
Now there's a gentleman who comes from the industry, and he's a bureaucrat formally, and he's the new chairman of the National Council for Vocational Education in India, Dr. Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi, a very humble person and a very fine intellectual who takes the technology forward. We will involve him. And in fact, tomorrow he's delivering the valedictory address when we complete 1,000 webinars. And depending on your convenience, depending on Vivek Shankarji's convenience, tomorrow in the valedictory function, we can request you to come for 15 minutes. I would like to introduce your organization before him, before the closing address.
Thank you,
in
sir.
fact, that was what I wanted to suggest. Sorry, Gulchanji. Sorry, Rajshekhar. Actually, I am on the panel, and if we can rework the folder to also add Rajshekhar-ji, it will be nice, because he's really having the boots on the ground, and he will be a great partnership for us with him and for ICI to take idea of technology empowerment.
Yeah, sure. We will adjust 5 to 7 minutes time also. We will work it out because the point-to-point time framework has been
Yes.
done for tomorrow. But I will certainly squeeze 5 to 7 minutes for you. And in the closing valedictory function, I will get you. And I would like, let your organization be known at the national level tomorrow in entire India when the valedictory function is going on. Because all the sector skill councils, everybody is going to be over there. Why not we should talk about, and we will talk on train the trainers, teachers training, and we will hardcore, we will take on that specific agenda.
Yes.
We will take
Wonderful,
on.
sir. I'm honored on that one. I'll be
So,
there.
thank you,
And,
sir.
we'll
And
work with it.
final question, let me, Dr. Puran Singh ji, we have conveyed your good wishes to him, and he says, I will be with you in my village school if support comes from your side. Dr. Puran Singh ji, our total support for you. Don't worry. We are always with you. You have done a wonderful job. There's a lady who is writing about her government school also. Great. Thank you. And Balkrishan ji, congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, he is telling from the border area of Pathankot that please say my hello and hi to Professor Saab because he's doing a great job.
Thank you, sir. Really, thank you. Thank you very much. And my request to each and every one who is listening this session, if I can be part of any helping area, please feel free and request Dr. Sharmaji so that I can be reached and then I can put into my agenda and see how we can really help.
Thank you, sir.
The other areas, sir. Also, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
And one question about one suggestion. The knowledge what I'm sharing is what I teach here in the US universities.
Yeah.
So the level of knowledge what they're getting right from so it's the international level. So that's the beauty with this program, what I do it.
Yes.
So
yes.
there is the thousands of dollars what they take actually in the universities. That's where actually I teach the same content for the students and the teachers. That's how there's a difference between what they're learning in India and what they're learning from our organization. So there's a vast difference.
Great.
And we want to make sure that from the ground zero, we train the teachers or students from the ground zero. So it means, they're not the superficial thing. And we laid down the foundation where they can build from there also in the future.
Great.
So that's
Great.
the important point factor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We are privileged to have you today with us. Thanks a lot. And our deep gratitudes and thanks to you. I would request Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji for the closing remarks, and thereafter then we conclude the session.
Yeah, so tomorrow is Yoga Day, and that is special. So Karmasu Kaushalam, and but for somebody like Rajshekhar ji or even Gulshan ji or a lot of in IT, I say every day is Yoga Day because we are doing excellence, yoga, Karmasu Kaushalam, excellence in action. We are committed to it. So I wanted to take this opportunity to wish everybody. Tomorrow, I know personally you are celebrating the 1000th episode and it coincides with Yoga Day. So
yes.
It's also technically the longest day of the year. And but for those people who work every day is a long day because as long as you're working, the day is there. Once you're sleeping, it's night. So, I know Gulshan ji never sleeps, or it's very difficult to figure out because anytime I call, he's available. So it's a 24/7, but he's a 24/7 hardworking soldier committed to thing. And so no wonder he's able to do 1000 episodes within 1 year. And did the math.
Amazing.
365 days of the year. So which means at least 3 webinars. And each webinar, to get one speaker for 1 week, I know how many phone calls I have to make. So to get 1,000 speakers, or sometimes it is more than one person, the amount of phone calls, the amount of resources he has to put, and then he has a whole team. And not many people know that he had personal family challenges. Two or three of his people were in severe ICU during the corona. Still, the show never stopped. It has kept going. One-man army with a few good supporters like Chitra ji and others. They have done a wonderful job at ICSI. It is not easy. And anything, to be done like this requires a lot of commitment and passion. So we have Karam Yogi in you, Gulshan ji. So tomorrow, we will be celebrating Yoga Day, and as we're invited to be on the panel. So Rajji, please be ready tomorrow morning. Also, we will be seeing each other because we will be in the 1000th. See, now you are drafted. Today you are a guest. Tomorrow you are part of the host family. Today you are on the groom's side. Tomorrow you are on the bride's side. The reason is, it's an honor to be on the same panel with a great bureaucrat like N.S. Kalsiji, whom I've heard wonderful stories about. And he is really heading this whole idea of, vocational training. So the point is all this confluence, if we can use that as a tipping point to influence vocational training, education in India, and contribute, I think that is the yoga tomorrow that we are looking for. Yoga is also a union. So
Yes.
the conference, the Sangam, the yoga, we are looking forward to tomorrow. Gulshanji, hearty congratulations in advance. Best wishes for tomorrow's event and subsequent webinars. Thank you, Rajshekarji, for being there.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Perfectly.
Once again,
let's have the closing. Let's have the closing prayer.
Yes.
Okay. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Professor
Shanti.
Rajshekarji, and thank you very much, Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajanji. Have a wonderful day ahead. So green morning, green afternoon, and green evening. And thank you very much, and special